Anna. Today I'm going to show you how to make a matching set of earrings to the necklace I made in my last tutorial. So we are going to be using super duos again, and we're going to make the component area in the necklace for the earrings, like so. Let me get nice and close so you can see what they look like. They're really very pretty. And let's go ahead and look at our material list so that we can make these. So for this pair of earrings, you will need some super duos. You will need a pair of ear wires, and I'm just using this copper colored French wire. Then you will need some 3x2 millimeter rondelle crystals. Mine is a pale blue opaque crystal. And then you will need 11-Os and 8-Os. These are both Toho. This is a rose gold, and this is an antique golden bronze. And then you'll need some 4mm round glass pearls. This is a check glass pearl, and it's better colored. You will also need a size 10 beading needle and some 8-pound fire line. I am using the smoke colored 8-pound fire line. And go ahead and put onto your needle about an arm's length and a half. I'm sorry, I cannot talk today. To start this project, we will be using our 8-O and 11-O seed beads, and we'll start with right angle weave, and we're going to pick up 3 11-Os and an 8-O. And we're going to bring this down to the end of the tail, to the end of the thread. Leave yourself about an 8 to 10 inch tail, a foot, whatever you feel like you need to attach your ear wire. I'm going to leave about 8 inches or so. And then I'm going to go back through the first bead I put on my thread, like so. And then pull them around into a little unit like this. And then we're going to sew back through all of these beads just to secure them, because we're not tying a knot, so we need to secure these beads onto our thread. So I've sewed around all of the beads, and then I'm going to go, I'm where my threads meet, my working thread and my tail thread. I'm going to go ahead and go back up through the 11-O, and I'm going to sew all the way over to this 11-O. So I'll go through the middle 11-O, and then I will go through this side 11-O right here. Perhaps. There we go. And this is what you should have, just like this. Now, when you're looking at this, I am going to refer to the 8-O as the bottom and this 11-O in the middle as the top, and these two are the side arms. So that's what I'll refer to those as, so that you know what I'm talking about as I do this. Now I'm coming out of this side arm here. I'm going to start my next unit of right angle weave, and I'm going to connect to this bead. So I will not need 4 beads this time, because I'm sharing this bead. It will be my 4th bead. I'm coming out towards the 8-O seed bead, so the first thing I'm going to pick up is an 8-O. Then I need 2 11-Os, since I'm sharing this 11-O already. So I will come back through the opposite side of the 11-O I'm exiting and pull these 3 beads down. Like so. Now we're going to sew through the 8-O, and then into the side arm closest to where you're coming out of your 8-O here, and then just give it a nice little tug so that it pulls your unit into alignment here, like so. Let's get just a little closer, and then we're going to do another unit, but this time we're coming out towards the 11-Os, which is our signal to pick up the 11-Os first. We know we're going to share this one, so we're going to just pick up 2 11-Os and an 8-O, and go back through the opposite side of the 11-O we're coming out of. Just align them up so that they look nice, and then sew through the middle 11-O, and the sidearm 11-0 right here. And give it a tug so that it's nice and secure. And then pick up an 8-0 seed bead. So we're going to share this 11-0 now, and we're coming out towards the 8-0s. So we're going to pick up the 8-0 first, and then 2 11-0s. And we're going to do the same thing again. Go into the opposite side of the bead we're exiting from, and pull this into a unit. Now sew through the 8-0, and then up through the 11-0 here. Just put your thumb and finger over it so that you can pull as you pull your thread through, and that way you can tighten up your unit. Now we have 4 beads on here. Our aim, 4 units on here. Our aim is 6 units. So we're going to do one more unit coming out towards the 11-0s. We're going to do one more unit like this, and then our last unit we will connect with our first unit. So on this one, we're coming out towards the 11-0s. We're going to pick up 2 11-0s first, and then an 8-0, and then we're going to go into the 11-0 we're coming out of. And then we have to sew over to this bead, just like we've been doing all along. So we'll go into the middle bead, and then we'll go into the side bead and sew through these individually. Don't try to slide through them all at once, because all you'll do is make a sloppy right angle weave. Now we're going to turn this into a circle, so we have to attach this unit with this unit. We have 2 sidearms available, so we will not need to pick up 2 beads this time, or 3 beads, excuse me. We'll need to just pick up 2. And what we need to add is we're coming out towards the 8-0, so we're going to pick up an 8-0. We're going to go to the side bead over here where the tail is coming out, and from the outside in we're going to pull this bead into alignment like so. Now we need to attach these 2 11-0s, so we're going to pick up an 11-0 and go through the first 11-0 we started in on the opposite side from which our thread is exiting. So from the middle, and sometimes trying to be in frame and do this is hard, so just give me a second. There we go. And I'm going to pull this down, and now I have a unit and a circle of units. So I need to sew back through this unit to secure it because it is not secure. So I'm going to go through the 8-0. I'm going to give it a tug, and then I'm going to go through this side arm here, and then I'm going to go through the middle bead, and then I will go down into this side arm here, and then tuck my tail behind here. I'm going to go through the 8-0 seed bead. And this is what you should have. Now tuck that tail so it's out of our way, because it's just going to keep getting in the way, I promise you that. And then what we're going to do is pick up the 3x2 millimeter crystals, and we're going to go from 8-0 seed bead to 8-0 seed bead, placing these crystals in. And this should somewhat cup our piece as we do this. Now it's kind of hard to get really good tension until you get them all the way in, so don't worry if it looks like they're kind of spread apart. Just give them a tug as you put them in and try to get some tension on them. The more you put in, the more the previous ones will start to retain better, as you can see. And you can see it's starting to cut. Oops, come here. Go into this one. And I'll put in my last one, and then I'll go through the 8-0 and the crystal behind it, and pull this one into place. And then I'm just going to sew a couple beads over just to secure this so that I can do my next step without it falling apart. So I'll just go over 8-0 and a crystal, and then I'll go into my next 8-0 and exit the 8-0 right here. Whoops. Okay. And give it a nice tug. There. I might even go a couple more, just until you feel like it's nice and tight, just like so. That helped. That's nice and tight. Now I'm exiting an 8-0 seed bead. I'm going to do some more right angle weave, and I'm going to do it with 11-0 seed beads. So I'm going to pick up 3 11-0 seed beads. I'm coming out of this 8-0. I am going to go into the opposite side of the 8-0 and the bead in back of it, so the crystal. So I'm going through the 8-0 and the crystal and pulling these down into a unit like so. Now I'm going to go into the next 8-0 seed bead. And this is just kind of hard to hold on to. It's awkward to start. And then we're going to pick up some 11-0s, 2 11-0s. So what we're going to do is attach to this 11-0, and this 8-0 is going to be the other bead in our next unit. So all we need is 2 11-0s. So we're going to go from this 8-0 into the side arm of this unit here, and then into the opposite side of the 8-0, like so. And we're going to pull this down into a unit, and it should lay on top of your other beads, like this. Then we're going to go through a crystal and the next 8-0 seed bead, and exit the 8-0 seed bead and pull the thread through. Then we're going to pick up 2 11-0 seed beads, and we're coming out of this 8-0. We're going to go into this side arm right here. And sometimes you can't pick up the 11-0 and the 8-0 at the same time. And if you can't do that, especially at this stage, simply because it's awkward to hold on to, just pull it down and then go into your 8-0 and then pull it through and give a nice little tug so that it is tight, like so. And it's starting to cup up even higher. So it's stacking on top of itself here. Then we're going to go through the next crystal, the next 8-0 seed bead, give it a nice tug, and then pick up 2 more 11-0 seed beads, go into the sidearm of the 11-0 here, and the 8-0 seed bead if you can, like so, and pull. Just do this nice and slow so that you can retain control and see where you're going. Go into the next crystal and the next 8-0 and exit the 8-0, and it gets a little tighter, so you just kind of have to manipulate your needle through there. Pick up 2 11-0 seed beads, go down through the side arm of the 11-0 in the unit you just created, go into the 8-0. Make sure that your thread does not get caught on the crystal in front. If you're going through the 8-0 separate, sometimes that thread will want to get caught on the crystal. So make sure as it pulls down, it pulls into the 8-0 and not next to the crystal. Then we have one more 8-0 left, so go through the crystal and the last 8-0 and exit. Here we're going to connect the right angle weave with this 8-0 seed bead, this 11-0, and this 11-0. So we're going to come up into this 11-0 seed bead right here, closest to where our thread is coming out from the 8-0, And now we have 3 beads for, or yes, we have 3 beads for this unit already. So we're going to pick up just one to complete the top of the weave. We're going to go over to this 11-0 right here and pull. Now make sure your thread doesn't go down on the other side of the crystal and go into the 8-0 to complete that unit. Like so. Now it's all squished up because it's hard to hold on to, but this is what you should have. Now we're going to go up. We're in this 8-0 seed bead. We're going to go up into this side arm closest to where the thread's coming out of the 8-0, and then into the top 11-0 seed bead. And now we're going to do another layer of right angle weave. We're going to do it with 11-0s and 8-0s this time. So now we're coming out of this 11-0 seed bead. We're going to pick up an 11-0, an 8-0, and an 11-0 onto our thread. This will be the 4th bead in our unit, so we'll go back into it on the opposite side from which we're exiting, and we will pull these beads down into a unit of right angle weave, like so. Now, let's see if I can get it even closer. Now we're going to go into the next bead, the center bead of the next unit of right angle weave. It looks like we're already right on top of it, but don't worry about that. Just go into it, pick up an 11-0 and an 8-0. We're using these 2 beads to make our next unit, so we're going to go down into the side arm of the previous unit and into the bead we're coming out of, and pull. Then go into the next bead on the next unit of right angle weave, the center bead, trying to get it so it's not squishy looking for you guys, and then we're going to pick up an 11-0 seed bead and an 8-0 seed bead and go into the side arm of the previous unit and go back into the bead we're coming out of. Just make sure you don't skip any of your beads on the bottom here, because it looks like you've already made a unit there, but you haven't. You have to make sure that you go right into the very next one, because it seems like the side arm is over the top of it, and it is somewhat, but it spreads out after we make our weave. So go into the next bead in the next unit of right angle weave, pick up an 11-0 and an 8-0, and then go into the side arm of the unit you just created and back into the bead you're coming out of, like so. Now, I know this looks squishy in my hand, but you guys, when it's in your hand, it'll be a lot clearer. Now, go into the next unit, pick up an 11-0 and an 8-0, come down into the side arm of the previous unit, back into the bead that you're coming out of on the opposite side, and pull. Now we have one more bead left, and we have these 2 side arms ready. So we're going to use these 2 beads and the next 11-0 in our next unit. So we're going to go down into the next unit. Then we're going to go up through this side arm and connect the circle together with one more unit, and all we have to do is add an 8-0 seed bead. We're coming out of the side arm here, pick up an 8-0, go into the side arm over here, and you can go into the unit or the bead that you're coming out of in the center of the unit here, and then go up the side arm. And this is what you should have. Now slide up into one of your 8/0 seed beads here. And we will begin picking up super duos. So we're going to put a super duo between each 8/0 seed bead now. So pick up a super duo and go from this 8/0 to this 8/0. And then another super duo from this 8/0 to this 8/0. And continue all the way around till you have put in 6 super duos. Okay, so I've done that. Now I'm going to go through my 8/0 and my first super duo that I put in right here. Now I'm just going to sew all the way around all of these beads to secure them, because as we create the ball part of the earring, it needs a lot of strength so it doesn't pull apart. So we're going to go ahead and just go back through all of the beads that we just put on and give it a nice little tug as you come through. Don't pull them out of whack, but give it a little tug. Just don't miss any of your beads. Through the 8/0s and all the super duos. And then once you're all the way around, go ahead and go through an 8/0 and a super duo and exit a super duo. It doesn't matter which one, just exit a super duo. Give it a nice little tug. And then go up into the top hole of the super duo you're exiting from the bottom hole. Now we're going to pick up 4mm pearls and we're going to go from super duo to super duo. And I think we probably should have had a little bit more thread, so I'll edit that in the beginning. We should probably go for a wingspan of thread since we're leaving a long tail. Go from super duo to super duo, putting your pearls in. All the way around, top hole to top hole with a pearl. And then we're going to sew all the way back around these just to secure them, or at least go through a few. We don't necessarily have to go all the way back around in this step. Our next step we will. But go through a couple. Go through your super duo and your pearl. Super duo and pearl. And I'm going to stop and just extend my fire line so that I can continue without having to run out of thread. So I will do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have secured my pearls and I extended my fire line. I will definitely edit that in the beginning. You definitely need more thread so you don't have to do this. Now I have an extension here, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult for me to work my next step, especially since lately my extensions are really fat. I don't know what's up with that. But anyway, we're going from this pearl to this pearl, and we're going to pick up a super duo, and we're going to pull this super duo down into place between these pearls, laying it on top of the previous super duo. And you're not going to get perfect tension here, but get it as tight as you can. And go into the next one with the next pearl, from pearl to pearl, placing super duos. giving a tug after each one. And like I said, they're not going to land there perfect, but that's okay because we're going to sew back around and secure them. And then when we do our stitch after that, the next step, it'll make everything nice and neat. So don't be too concerned. Purl to purl, putting super duos on top of the previous super duos. All the way around. When you get to your last one, go ahead and go through the purl, and then we'll go through the bottom hole in the super duo also. Give a nice tug, and now we're going to sew all the way back around all of these to secure them again. So we're going to go from through the purl, through the super duos, all the way around one more time to secure everything. Now I have an extension in mine, so it's going to be difficult for me to pass through my first purl because my knot is in there. You shouldn't have this issue. And then I'm just going to sew all the way around. And this will strengthen and straighten up everything. Just pull it nice and tight as you go around. And then I'll go through my last super duo, and make sure you go through super duo and exit it on your last one, and then go up through the hole in the top of the super duo you're coming out of. I don't know if I was even in frame. I shouldn't do this late at night. I'm just not very good. I should do this in the morning. All right. Now we're going to pick up, not those, we're going to pick up some 8/0s. See, I'm kind of just spacey. All right, so I'm coming out of the top hole of the super duo. I'm going to pick up an 8/0 seed bead and go into the top hole of the next super duo. And then again, and I'm going to do that all the way around, and you're just going to pull your super duos together. I should probably remake this tutorial. Yeah. All the way around. And then when you get to the last one, just go ahead and go through the super duo, the 8/0, and the next super duo, and then again, so all the way around all the beads, so that you can pull this layer together nice and tight and secure it. So just go through all of them again. If you'd like, when you get all the way around, you can pull it tight and tie a knot if you'd like on the thread bridge between a super duo and a 8/0 seed bead, or an 8/0 seed bead. Okay. So I've gone around enough to where it's pretty secure. I'm coming out of an 8/0 seed bead, and now I'm going to start some more right angle weave. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up 3 11/0 seed beads onto my needle, and I'm coming out of this 8/0 seed bead right here. I'm going to go into the opposite side of the 8/0 and the super duo next to it, and I'm going to pull these 3 11/0 seed beads into place, and then I'm going to go into the next 8/0 seed bead and pull tightly. Don't want anything to loosen up here. pick up 2 11-0 seed beads. We're going to share this seed bead here, so it's basically the same thing we did on the other side. We're going to grab this sidearm and go into this 8-0 here. Then we're going to go through the super duo and the 8-0, and again we're going to pick up 2 11-0 seed beads, and we're going to go all the way over here to the sidearm of the previous unit and then go through the 8-0 and pull. Again, go through the super duo in the next 8-0 and exit the 8-0 and pick up 3 11-0 seed beads. And go back through the sidearm of the previous unit and the 8-0. If you can go through the next super duo, that's fine too. You have to do it anyway. And I picked up 3 11-0s, and you're only supposed to pick up 2, so let me get rid of one of those. And I'm going to go through the 8-0 seed bead. And again, I will pick up 2 11-0 seed beads. Make sure I didn't get 3 on anything else. It's obvious I'm very tired, guys. I apologize. And then we're going to go through the 8-0. And then we're going to go into the last 8-0 seed bead, through the super duo into the last 8-0 seed bead. And here we have our 2 sidearms and our 8-0 ready to make our last unit. So we're going to go up into the sidearm closest to where your thread is exiting the 8-0 seed bead and pull up through that 11-0. Pick up an 11-0 seed bead, cross over to the previous unit, and then, or the first unit you made, go through the 11-0 on the sidearm and then go through the 8-0. And then go up through the sidearm you started in, right here. Then we're going to go into the top bead. Now, we have all these little top beads where we would, if we were going to make more right angle weave, we would use these top beads to make our next units. However, we are not going to use them, so what we're going to do is just go into the next one and then the one after that, and we're going to go all the way around, going into these top beads and pulling them together. So just sew through all the little top 11-0s. Get you close, and just sew through all of those. And just pull it together. And yes, there will be a hole in the middle, so don't try to pull it and wonder why there's still a hole, because of course it's the shape of and the size of the beads. So that's what that should look like. And then we're just going to go ahead and sew through a couple more just to make sure it's very secure, and then we're going to tie a knot. So once you feel like that's together pretty nicely, go between the beads, grab the thread bridge, pull the thread through, and then make a loop and go through the loop and pull a knot down. And then again, sew around a few of your beads. You can tie as many knots as you want, but I really don't think that you need more than that. Just cut your thread off. I have way too much thread now. So start out with a wingspan. Let's see how we do. And then I'm just going to burn this down. And this is what I have. This is the bottom part of my earring. And now we're going to put our thread on to the tail thread here. Or our needle onto the tail thread. Boy, I am just a little punch happy here. I don't know if that's even a saying or a word. I'm not really sure at this point. Okay, so now I'm going to put my needle onto the thread on this side. And yeah, I do wash my hands. It's just the fire line. Someone told me once if you take a bounce fabric softener sheet and wipe your thread through it, then it won't do this to your fingers. But quite honestly, that's just more of a pain in the butt than I want to do. So I just get dirty fingers and wash my hands. And late at night, have you ever noticed how hard it is to thread a beading needle? It's really hard late at night. Okay, so I am on my tail thread now. Let me get you real close. I am exiting through this 11-0 seed bead right here. So I need to go into this 8-0 and then sew into the side arm of this unit of right angle weave and then into the top bead. Now I'm going to sew and pull all of these top beads together again, just like we did on the bottom. We're just going to sew and pull them together. We're not going to sew through many times and pull them real tight because we still need to get through these beads, but we're going to pull them all together. Finish our unit of, it's actually prismatic right angle weave, even though I'm doing it differently and modifying it, it's basically ends up to be so. Now what we're going to do is we are going to grab a couple of 11-0s and a pearl and an 8-0s. Get your little beads ready. So what we're going to do now is we're coming out of this 11-0 seed bead right here, and we're going to go right into the next one, and we're going to work out of these two 11-0 seed beads right here. So what we're going to do is pick up a 11-0 seed bead and then pick up a pearl. Come here, pearl. And then pick up an 8-0 seed bead and drop these down. And then pick up your ear wire. Go through the ear wire. And it doesn't matter what direction it is. This is round, so it doesn't really matter. So you've got your 11-0, your pearl, and your 8-0. And then you've gone through the ear wire. Then go back through the 8-0 and the pearl, like so, and pull your ear wire down. Now pick up an 11-0 seed bead. Now you're coming out of these two beads right here, this one and this one. We're going to go into the opposite side from which we're coming out. Right here. And pull the needle through. Like so. Now we're going to turn our piece. We're going to go through one 11-0. And then we're going to go through two 11-0s. And these two 11-0s are the two that we will connect to the ear wire extension here. So we're coming out of these two 11-0s. We're going to pick up an 11-0. We're going to go up into the pearl and then into the 8-0 and into the ear wire and pull this very gently and slowly. Then we're going to go down into the, go around the ear wire, go down into the 8-0 and the pearl, exit the pearl, pull this very slowly and gently so that you can keep control, tighten up your thread, and then pick up an 11-0 seed bead and go into the opposite side of the two beads that you started in, right here. Get you really close so you can see that. And pull this through. Now everything should look nice and neat, kind of bobbly. And we're not going to sew back up through that again. You can if you want to, but it's an earring and you're not going to get a whole lot of wear and tear, hopefully. Make sure that before you start this that your ear wire is completely closed, because your threads will slide through if it's not completely closed. And if it is not, grab a flat nose plier and just close it tightly. Mine looks pretty tightly closed. Then we're coming out of this bead right here. After connecting, we're going to go down into one of the bottom beads of the right angle weave here, the one closest to where your thread is coming out of the bead that you attached to, and pull. And then go into an 8/0 seed bead and a crystal. You can sew around a little bit, a couple of them. And then we're going to grab a thread bridge here between the crystal and the 8/0 where we're exiting. Grab a thread bridge. Make a loop, bring your needle through the loop, and pull a knot down. And then just sew through a few more beads. If you want to knot again, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But just make sure you bring your thread through a few beads so that your knot doesn't loosen. Well, okay, so one at a time. And now I'm going to cut this off. And I'm going to burn my thread down. And I don't know how I did it, but I made an earring. I really don't know how. Probably should remake this video, but I probably won't, but I should. If you guys think that I was really being stupid, let me know. But hopefully you can follow it. If you cannot, I'll remake it, but hopefully you should be able to follow it. And this is what our set of earrings looks like. It goes very well with the necklace. Let me back off here so you can see. And that is that. And I'll hold them up so you can see that they actually dangle nicely. They work out really well. And there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that I wasn't too obnoxious. See you later. Bye-bye.